Yesterday I spent the day walking around downtown with my cousin. You may have spotted him last night on the live stream. Yeah, that handsome motherfucker. We stopped into a couple antique stores just to see if they had any magic cards out in the wild. You know, that's always cool to see. There were a couple Brothers War booster boxes that were sealed, but nothing crazy. We stopped into an LGS that recently opened and decided to see if we could pick up anything that we needed. We were thinking maybe some of the artifacts that came out in Brothers War maybe dropped the prices and we could pick up a couple of those for our decks. And Jesus, were we right. We quickly discovered that not only were the Brothers War artifacts extremely affordable, but some of the other cards that came to mind from our childhood that were really good and expensive are much cheaper than we were expecting, and not like, oh, we thought they would be the same price. Obviously they'd be lower than they were. They're not standard anymore. Way lower than we were expecting is what I'm saying. We just started thinking of any powerhouse card from our childhood. They'd look it up, 25 cents. They'd look it up, $1. They'd look it up, $4. So I thought it'd be nice to create a budget list that people would consider going and buying at their local game store, and at the very least highlight some of the price drops in super powerful cards. So let's get into it. Voice of Resurgence for as low as $1.60. I forgot this card existed. Last time I saw this, it was pushing $30 in standard. This 2-drop will make you an XX token whose power and toughness is equal to the amount of creatures you control whenever anyone plays anything during your turn. They do a counter spell. Oh, I get a token that's going to get huge. Oh, you want a removal spell? I get a token that's going to get huge. Oh, you want to draw cards at the end of my turn? Ooh, I'm going to get a token that's going to get huge. It's actually extremely good. And I have not seen it played in Commander once, and it's $1.60, and I'm picking up a ton of them and playing them because this seems right up my alley. Speaking of right up my alley, I cannot back up Strionic Resonator enough. Like, please go buy this thing. It is $1.10. It just keeps going down in price, and it doubles all of your triggered abilities. Take a look at your commanders, any of them. Odds are it probably says when, whenever, or at on it, which means it has a triggered ability, which means you'll get 2 of those abilities with Strionic Resonator. Then you're good to go, baby. Lithoform does the same thing as Strionic, except better, doubling triggered abilities, activated abilities, spells, and permanents. Yeah, literally you can get tokens of permanents that are in play. And this thing will run you a saucy $1.87. It doesn't sound too bad to me. Avenger Zendikar is a classic green beefy boy. 7 mana for a 5/5 that gives you a 0/1 plant for each land you control. That's insane. And gives them a 1/1 counter each plant every time you play a land. Also insane. This thing gets out of hand extremely fast. It's a super good reanimator target. It's a super good green stompy target if you're trying to like green Sun Zenith something out. If you're trying to Craterhoof win, this seems like a good thing to play a Craterhoof into. And it goes for $2.80. You know, that's a great ad in my book. Mind's Eye is a 5 mana artifact. Whenever an opponent draws a card, you may pay 1. If you do, you also draw a card. This card just gives you insane card advantage for existing. And for a, drumroll please, 99 cents. Yeah. Okay. I'll take 40 of them, please. Altar of Dementia and Ashnod's Altar are classic win cons and sack outlets, only being available for $30+ before. Being able to sack your creatures for mana and or mill can and will win games. Dementia coming for as low as $2.50 now, baby. And Ashnod's coming in at a whopping $3.97, baby. These are the clear pickups ASAP. I was cheesing when I realized these were so cheap. Such good adds to most decks. Sun Titan is a classic big beater in white that will return smaller utility permanents whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks. Sun Titan does work, returning lands, artifacts, enchantments, anything you need that's a permanent that costs 3 or less for 42 cents. I mean, that seems like a steal from me, both out of your graveyard and out of your pocketbook. Blasphemous Act, after being released out of their ass and in a Brothers War deck, is sitting at $1.24 for a potential 1 mana board wipe. It's most of the time 1 mana. Always solid as hell. Great pickup for $1. Speaking of great pickups for $1, Swords to Plowshare is one of the best, if not the best, removal spell in white. Maybe the game. Removing a creature from the game for 1 mana in exchange for them gaining that creature's power. I mean, life gain. I don't really give a shit. We don't care. And it comes in at $1.03. Yes, please. Mystifying Maze is my card. It comes in at 78 cents. I've had this thing since day 1. It's a pseudo Mazavith. Taps for a colorless, but more importantly, can remove an attacking creature from combat for 4 colorless and tapping it. This card always overperforms in my deck, and I cannot recommend it enough, especially at the price point of 78 cents. Speaking of insane cards coming down in price, Defense Grid is another one that was pushing 30 bucks in most printings, and now it's going for 99 cents after Brothers War. This thing in any creature heavy response light deck goes insane. Oh, is Counterspell not as good when it's 5 mana? Fuck you, control deck. I'm playing Rotomorphs. And finally, Sphinx's Revelation comes in at 35 cents, which it's kind of hard to not just laugh at. It's just crazy to me. X and a white and 2 blue. Draw X cards, gain X life. It's a Mind Spring with a gain X attached to it. And I know you're thinking, yeah, sure, I'll just run Mind Spring. Like you just said in the last example, life gain's not that good. It's not that at instant speed. Sure, I'll draw 5 and gain 5 before my turn even starts for 35 cents. Sure, yeah. I'll take a billion, please. This order for every one of these cards on the list comes in at $19.12, which I makes the little kid version of me giddy at the thought of. I can throw down a $20 bill and get all of these staples. It just feels so good. Def check some of these cards out. Let me know if you like this idea for these videos. Much love, and go play some Magic, guys.